Hi, I'm Erica.
And I'm Lynn, and today we're going to talk about the Spools and Kites quilt.
I know, and I love this one. It's with fabric by Robert Kaufman, right?
Right. And so let's take a look at it behind us. This is just a great example of what you can do with your cube plus another die.
That's right. So it's using our kite die, which is one of our block on board dies,
right,
and our 8-inch cube.
Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the kite.
Right, and so that's going to be this square here.
Right.
And this, like I said, is a block on board die, and this is what we're going to make.
All right, and then I just want to mention that the spool die, which is really pretty cool, that you can take your cube shapes to make this great version of a spool block. And it's the 8-inch that we mentioned before, and then there's 4 dies out of it that you use to create that.
Right.
All right, so should we go ahead? We're going to start. We'll cut the kite quarter block out. All right, so here there's 2 shapes on the die, and then the one shape, there's 2 of the same for the side pieces.
Right.
Okay, so one key thing to keep in mind is that on the die, these side pieces they're going in the same direction, and we actually need them to go in opposite directions.
Right.
So this is a perfect time to do fan folding.
Excellent.
All right, so what we've got here with the white fabric, we've got 2 layers. Now again, you can cut up to 6 layers with this die, but we do have them. We do have it fan folded, so we've got right sides together, and then we've got just 1 layer for our center shape. And we've got it on the lengthwise grain.
Right, and if we did 4 layers of each, I think we'd have enough for our 8-inch block. Is that right, Lynn?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Okay, so I'm just going to run this through our Go cutter.
And this is a die that would work in any of our 3 cutters. Actually, you could even do this with your Go Baby.
Right, so pretty easy to, all the dies are compatible with all 3 cutters, so you can cut all of those shapes out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give you these pieces.
Okay.
Okay, that's a great
all right, so now we're going to go ahead and sew the edge pieces on, and we want to be sure that we have it laid out correctly. So we could look at that, but that's not going to give us the right shape. So we actually need to lay out this way, and when we do lay it out correctly, it will actually line up with our dog ear. So you'll see that when it's lined up correctly, your top corner is going to match, and then it'll line up down at the bottom as well.
Right, so we designed it that way on purpose to make it easier for
Absolutely, absolutely, so that you don't make mistakes like I did earlier when I was sewing one. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these together. So we've got one put together for you. And
so we're just using a standard 1/4-inch seam allowance.
Right, and because those dog-eared corners are already cut, that's going to help us cut down on the bulk, besides just helping us be sure that we've got it laid out correctly. Now, if I was sewing this, I'd go ahead and do all of my left-hand sides first, press them out, and then go ahead and go back and chain piece all of the other side together. I think doing that would make it go really quickly for you, and you'd have it in no time. So again, we can go ahead and make sure that we've got this laid out correctly. And it's always good. A lot of times I will make a sample block, Lynn, before I go ahead and do my whole block. So again, I want you to see we've got this lined out so that it's going to fit up perfectly again for us.
Right, so definitely saving a lot of time without having to pin.
That's right.
On this one for sure, you don't need to do that.
Oh no, you certainly wouldn't. Now I might pin when I was putting my squares together, just because that's how I tend to roll. We've talked about that before. Garment sewers, I know, pin more. So just to get that point in the center, but really this is such an easy block and it goes together so well, and those dog-eared corners make it so easy, Lynn. I think it's a great even beginner block. So again, I'm going to just set that and press it out, and just like that we've got the 1/4 block done. And really you can see how quickly you'd get all of those blocks done to put this quilt together. And we'd put that together, go ahead.
So we just need to spin it around.
Oh, There we go.
That's why it's good to
That's
have
why
that
it's good to
design
do
wall.
that design wall.
Make sure you take a look at that before you move on to the next step,
Or
right?
even for those of us in cramped spaces, a little design board will work too.
Absolutely.
And I usually will keep one handy just to stop myself from doing something like that later on.
So putting the rest of this block together is really easy. You sew your 2 pieces together and then sew your rows together, and then get all your blocks done and put your entire quilt top together.